I have a few, even though I'm a brand new makeup artist, only been here for 5 years. I did makeup awards and I won first place. I also work on set on different non-union jobs, but I worked on High Res with Roberto. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's a good friend of mine, and we worked on set various times. And for me, working in a team to achieve something, that's something big for me. And also competing against other artists, local artists in Atlanta, something big for me as well. And I won first place last year.
Okay, awesome. Tell me about how did you prepare for that competition?
Okay, for that competition, they were calling all models, and a lot of people tell me that I should model. I don't have any experience, but they were doing print modeling and they were doing a casting. So I'm like, okay, let me just try it out. A lot of people were telling me, just go, just try it out. So I walked there and I told them, I'm here for the modeling casting. And I said, well, I'm nervous. I don't know what's going to happen. So they declined me, obviously. I don't know how to walk and runway and stuff like that. But they told me I should try next year. I'm like, actually, I heard something about makeup artists. There's something going on. I didn't know about the competition. But in the casting, they told me, yes, we're having a competition. So I'm like, oh, I'm here for this, not for modeling. Forget about modeling. I don't want to model. I want to be in the competition. So they were about 10 makeup artists in total, and they accepted me as one of them to compete. And there were 2 looks, and you had to do one look in 1 hour, another look in another hour. So one would be Atlanta inspiring look, and the other one will be a rainbow look. And each one will be judged in just 1 hour, and they would look at your job, the whole job that you're doing on the model, and they will pick the models for you. I couldn't get the chance to pick them. Like, okay, I had something in mind, but I didn't know which model I had, so I had to improvise once I saw the face. So I had something in mind, and when I got there to the competition, I saw a different model. She was short, she was this, she has different facial features. So I had to improvise, and I got everything in my head, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I did a rainbow look with UV paint on a model.
Nice.
And I finished that in about 50 minutes. So I told them to turn off all the lights, and when they saw the UV body paint, face painting, it was chest up. They loved it. I thought that someone else was gonna win, but I wasn't that confident, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my best. And then I felt confident on that look that I did. And the second look was just 1 hour, and I did an inspiring look on Botanical Garden in Atlanta. So I did some leaves and flowers and green and some shadows, and to add depth and definition to the face as well. And they loved it, so I won first place.
Oh, congrats. I know you were at PMAC this year as well. Tell us about that competition.
It was 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago, PMAC. I'm a huge competitor, so I like to compete not because I'm the best, but because I like to challenge myself, and also to connect with other artists, and you'll learn in the competition. So I signed up for the fantasy competition, and I wanted to do something that represents my name, which is Rose Wing, as a makeup artist. So I did something with wings, angel wings, and roses. I love roses. And the white with gold represents purity, and the gold royalty, stuff like that. I really like those themes, for color. So that's what I did on the model, and they gave us 3 hours, and I won. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but I was very confident in my look.
Good.
I love body artwork.
It was beautiful. I
Thank
saw
you.
it myself, and it was a great job. So to get a look like that together, how long do you take to think it through?
Okay, so usually for fantasy looks and body art, stuff like that, I look at different photos from anywhere. the internet, or if I see a color here, I see a plant somewhere. Depending on the theme that I'm doing, then I get all these images inside my brain, and I guess it just put them together, and I create something new. Every time that I create something like that, it usually takes me about 1 to 3 hours, depending what the time limit is.
Oh, good, good. So you literally come up with a complete look within an hour?
I did for last year's competition,
nice,
and actually the botanical garden look that I did, I finished it in 40 minutes. It was from here up,
Yeah.
and including the hair as well.
Yeah. So tell me, I know you've worked on a lot of competition. What is the ultimate goal? Where do you see yourself going?
I see myself working in movies. That's what I'm working towards too. I love body art. I love creating monsters. I do simple special, out of kit special effects. I love beauty. Don't get me wrong, I love beauty, but I think my creation, my creativity goes beyond there, just beauty. I love creating stuff. I love creating creatures like you saw.
Yeah.
So I'm working towards that to create monsters, hopefully in a series or in a movie. So I'm getting myself preparing that.
Excellent. So as a young artist, what have been some of your challenges getting into the industry?
One of the main ones is confidence and information. That's the main thing. Confidence, because you always think that as a young artist, you think that you don't know it all. Obviously, you don't have a lot of experience. For me, in my personal case, a lot of people come to me and say, oh, you don't know about this, you don't know about color theory, you don't know about, without even, they judge me because I'm young. But once they start working with me and they see my work, then they start to see that there's knowledge and there's wisdom in my work. The second thing is confidence, because as many artists, we always think that, oh, that person is better, we lower our self-esteem, and that always happens. So I think that that's one of the main things that we all struggle with.
True. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And when you're working, what are some products that you love to work with?
Oh, I love Cinema Secrets.
Oh, yes.
I love RCMA. What's the other one? I love Benai. So I work mainly with those three. But I use some drugstore products here and there that are really good, like Maybelline. Their foundation is great, but depending on the occasion. I mostly use Cinema Secrets and RCMA cream products because they give a beautiful finish on the skin. I love Benai as well. So those are my main three products that I use all my clients.
Excellent. So when your private clients come to you when they're going to a special event, what would you say is your signature look?
I would say a soft glam, but I would give it a twist if the client likes it, obviously. I would go with natural skin tone, the natural finish and beautiful finish, a little bit glowy. And I would add a pop of color on the waterline all the time.
Yeah.
If they don't want it, then I'll do the lips, bold lips.
Oh, nice, nice. And when you're doing your makeup, what would you say is the most important part of your makeup application or of a makeup application?
Skin prep.
Skin
That's,
prep.
if you have the skin with so much texture and it's dry or even oily, you still need to moisturize. Sometimes I get clients that have like little dry patches here and there, and I have to take my time to scrub a little bit with lotion. I love using Embryolisse lotion. The moisturizer is really good, and you have to invest that time in skin prep. You have to, if you just add a foundation or primer, whatever you want to use, it's not going to look the same.
Yeah.
If not, then just do this without moisturizer and half of the face with moisturizer, you're gonna see the difference.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So I know you are from Cuba, you told me earlier, and you went home recently. Tell me about that trip.
My heart is pounding. So I went to Cuba for the first time last year in July because I came when I was little. I never went back for so many reasons. So when I went back, it was very nice to see my family and to see, they saw me. I came when I was a child. And they saw me going back with a husband, grown up.
Yeah.
So it was very fun. It was very learning experience for me because even though I was raised there in my childhood, I didn't see things as when I was a child, So I learned how the culture is, so many things that I didn't know from my own country. I learned how to be more humble than in different situations. The weather, I learned that there's no makeup to hold in Cuba. I tried different foundations that I took with me. Everything would just melt. Melt.
Yeah.
I have to have more experience working in Cuba with other products to see which one works because there's no AC anywhere you go. That's why it melts.
Oh, wow.
So that's a big learning experience that I had. So I decided to not wear makeup at all.
Good. So tell me what is one of the most memorable thing that you experienced going back home after so long?
Wow. So many things. Okay. I think seeing family, it hit me. And like when I got on the plane, I started crying. I saw the land, the Cuba, and I was coming down like, this is for real. I had to pinch myself because my dream was to go back to Cuba. I never had the chance. So when I went back and I was crying and the passenger they looked at me and like, this lady is crazy. Like, So that time when I was going down and just trying to arrive in Cuba and saw my family, hug them, it's just the most memorable thing that
Excellent.
I have.
Excellent. So are you an only child?
No, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. They're all in here. They're not in Cuba.
Okay. Where do you fall in that group?
I am the middle child. Yes. So I have a baby brother. He's 9, turning 10. And then I have an older brother. He's 25 or 26. So I'm 23.
Oh, nice.
And then I have another brother in Miami. He's 19.
Excellent. So Ariadna.
And my sister, she's 23, same age.
Same as you. Okay, perfect. So tell me, in the next 5 years, where do you hope to be?
Well, I'm very confident, and I hope to see myself working in movies and TV. And I am very good at directing people. I recruit models for photo shoots and stuff like that. I do schedule a call sheet. So I would like to see myself head of department, in the makeup industry, or whatever God has in place for me.
Excellent, excellent. So if you would go back and you could give yourself some advice growing up as a young teenager, what would you tell that younger self?
To not be shy and go out there and reach out to people. Introduce yourself and what you like, investigate and tell others what your passion is. And because sometimes we're shy as a teenager, you're and sometimes adults too. Yeah. We tend to stay inside and we don't share anything about, I like makeup, or I like this, I like that, this is my passion. Sometimes you show it, but not enough, so people can know, because when you make connections, that's what brings people to like what you do and see what you're basically doing in your life.
And who are some people that inspires you?
My grandmother. She was my favorite artist because she taught me how to draw like fashion mannequins, and she used to paint as well. She still paints, but not much as before. So she taught me everything about art, and she loves makeup. And my aunt as well was my inspiration. She was always doing nails, and I would do the same thing. So I would say my grandmother and my aunt in Cuba.
Good, good. And when would you say you're most creative? At what point? A happy point, a sad point? When do you think you find most of your creativity?
It's hard to answer because I get inspired from so many things, and I see, like I said before, I see a plant, I see something, an object, and I get inspired. I would say happy.
Happy.
But sometimes I'm sad and I would get an inspirational look, talking about body painting and art. So it depends.
Good, good. Well, Ariadna, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure. We will be on the lookout to see what great things you do in the next couple of years, and definitely we're excited for you, and congrats on your winning.
Thank you.